Hey, what's going on, everyone? I'm here with the newly crowned champions of Midwest Campus Clash, first ever tournament being held in Columbia, Missouri. Guys, congratulations to Morris University. I'm here with two of the players, two of the coaching staff. To my right, we have West Coast Carey, top laner, and Dan, assistant manager. Over to my left, we have Evan RL, support, and Coach Drake Porter. Guys, first of all, congratulations to the players. What was the initial reaction that you guys had after winning?
For me, winning was just relief. I've actually gotten second in every LAN event I've been at, and so to finally win one's just awesome.
West?
It's a crazy feeling.
I think it's kind of the same thing. We've kind of gotten used to losing for the past like 2 or 3 years, so to actually be able to get to a finals and finish it with a victory is a big deal for us.
So your opponents today were Maryville University. You guys are very familiar against them, having competed in North Finals, 3-2 loss, but now bouncing back at Midwest Campus Clash for a 2-1 victory. How did it feel to beat Maryville specifically in the grand finals?
Beating Maryville specifically wasn't the big accomplishment. Beating Prototype is what everyone wanted. Around our school, he's not liked very much, so that was the real task, and we achieved it.
Yeah, I mean, around the entire league community, he's kind of disliked, but I think we all have a lot of respect for 4 of the 5 members on Maryville, and I really feel bad that they kind of came up short, but I mean, it's very nice to be Prototype.
Yeah. Well, to the coaches, especially you, Drake, walking out in Game 3 because of the excitement, how did you feel clinching that victory?
For me, I went in knowing that Maryville is very beatable. In our matches in North Finals versus them, it was largely our mistakes that ended up throwing games that we had won. So like first game we should have won pretty free, 5th game we were still in until we threw to Baron. So I went in knowing that they were beatable. I didn't think we'd win. We went in with not much practice. So I kind of realized on the first day that everybody had a really good mentality as opposed to usual. And then on top of that, I feel like my understanding of the game is kind of at its peak right now. And just being able to relay that onto players, I think made a huge difference. And I mean, it feels amazing being Maryville. I knew that they were beatable, but just actually going and taking home a win in like a live tournament was a lot more meaningful to me than just losing at an online tournament.
What about you, Dan?
Yeah, I mean, it felt amazing. This is my first year coaching esports. I've been a player for a while, but coaching with a veteran like Drake and coaching these players, it's been a special bunch of guys. So going up there and winning it was an incredible feeling. And yeah, that's about all I can say.
So
I really loved it.
Yeah. So coming into the tournament, you said you felt really confident with how the team was playing. How are you feeling going in yesterday's game with the prelims, knowing the field ahead of you?
Yesterday, I thought that we win yesterday. I was pretty confident we win, but I didn't think that we beat Maryville yesterday. It kind of like added up throughout the day today where I was like, wow, we're playing really clean. Wow, our players are really starting to understand these concepts that we normally don't. And our mistakes are like, when we do die, they're like very minuscule. Like just the smallest mistakes and it'll cost like 2-3 deaths or something like that. So if we can just like clean it up a little bit and build comps around our like weaknesses to kind of cover them up, then we'll be in a really good position. And I think if Maryville maybe had like identified that, they would have had an easier time, but I still think in the end we probably would have won.
So what were the keys to the game, keys to the victory in the tournament today? As you said, growing as the day went on. What do you think the keys were in that final series?
Yeah, since we have like a month and a half until ULoL finals, and I'm pretty sure it'll change plenty by then, I think I can disclose some of this, but I think that, to be 100% honest, our bot lane focus was looking weak. And so Ashe was super important for us. By picking Ashe, we basically are able to track enemy jungle movement all the time, so we can't make plays on bot. On top of that, they put higher priority on Karma than Lulu, so by picking Lulu, it prevents them from diving bot. And then we can just play off of top side and try and get top tower, which is the way that they've beaten us in the past, is getting Sasuke huge leads and then split pushing to win. So we had multiple points where we were able to just play around that and win. Game 3, we pulled out a strategy that we had never really done well on, and it ended up working. It was a really good comp, but I didn't know if we could execute on it. And I think ultimately we just played the game extremely well. All the players were in a really good focus during the matches, and ultimately it just came down to us being able to adapt throughout the whole tournament and cover up like this massive mistake or these massive like flaws that we've recently developed, because our team does shift around a lot. So going into this tournament, it was largely just about figuring out where we are now and how we can adapt throughout the tournament to get to where we need to be and what we need to pick to cover it.
Speaking of top lane, going to the man in the top lane, phenomenal game 1 on Rumble, even more incredible Game 3 on Shen. How did you feel in your performance personally, being the star for RMU in this final series?
It's kind of nice because I think I've played like more of a back support kind of role in the top lane for almost 4 or 5 years playing League of Legends, and so I think I've reached somewhat of a peak recently in terms of my play, and it's kind of shown in trying out for possible professional teams and other stuff like that. And coming in this tournament, I was really confident in how I was playing, and it was nice that I was actually able to translate that to like a LAN environment as opposed to just playing well online.
First victory, how does it feel, Drake?
It feels really good. So basically, having like coached for about 7 years, like I'm nearing 7 years, and not having actually like pulled first, like I've came in second and stuff like that. I know a lot of our players are familiar with second. It definitely feels really nice, and it really isn't necessarily beating Maryville. I know a lot of players are motivated to beat Prototype, but for me, it really, I'm also not a fan, but for me, it really is just putting in so much work throughout this year, and a lot of people don't see the amount of work that goes in behind the scenes. Like the amount of effort that everybody on our team puts in is like uncomparable to other collegiate teams, and especially like a solid month or two ago, like throughout the entire season, ever since like November, we're scrimming pretty much more than anybody else, trying harder than anybody else, implementing new things that nobody else is trying to do. And with this comes like massive risk of like, what if this doesn't work? So just seeing it all add up, and not just like in an online tournament, but in an offline event, and against like our rivals really, especially this season, it feels really, really good. And I'm just extremely proud of my players and the support staff, and everybody who's supported the work that I've been putting in, and also supporting their teammates. It's just something that I don't think was as prevalent in the past, and I think we've done a really good job of building just a quality environment this year.
So mentioning the LAN event, I mean, this was a fantastic offline tournament and a fantastic LAN event at MWCC. For y'all as the players and the coaches, people competing here, how was this LAN event compared to others that you guys have been to?
This LAN event is by far the best one we've ever been to. Normally there's like technical difficulties, or the internet's not that great, or just something goes wrong and it makes and we sit around forever. But there was none of that here. It was all really smooth, really great, and it was awesome.
I think it's the first LAN event I've been to where I didn't have a glaring issue with something. Like even Riot-sponsored events at times have issues with like technical difficulties and like crowd noise going into headsets and everything. It's just really nice to actually be able to just play the game and focus on the game, and that's it.
So up next for you guys is Los Angeles, May 26th, going for the ULoL College Championships. How do you feel going into that now that MWCC is yours?
We're not going to go in with a ton of practice. I know that Maryville is staying together to do LANs and stuff like that, so they should go in with more practice. However, to be honest, they went into this with more practice than us, and we still beat them. So I definitely think it's possible, depending on the condition of our team, for us to be able to pull out a win. I really think, like I said before, it comes down to us being able to identify where are our weaknesses and strengths on that given couple 3-4 days or whatever, and then just try and correct it throughout the tournament, make sure everybody's in the right mindset, and ultimately just come out in the finals and play together as a team. As long as we play together as a team and we adapt and we are not too stuck on our old ways, I think that we'll be able to come out with a win.
Well, once again, guys, congratulations on winning the Midwest Campus Clash, first one ever. I'm sure we'll be seeing y'all back next year, but May 26th coming up, we'll see y'all then. Are there any final words you'd like to give out? Any shout-outs to anyone?
Mordio's a god.
I guess just thanks to all of our sponsors that we have listed on our shirts and everything they've done for us. It's kind of one of the main reasons we're actually able to do this, so thank you.
And along with our sponsors, just thanks to all of our staff and all of our players for putting up with everything through the bad and the good, and just getting to this point means a lot.
And on top of that, I'd like to especially thank Ferris for putting together the program and just getting so many talented players and staff. I'd like to thank, obviously, Dan for being my assistant coach, and Mickey for putting in a ton of effort throughout the year. And I also can't forget Kurt for obviously founding the program and always being supportive over the years as well.
Well, guys, thank you very much, and see you in Los Angeles.
Thank you. Thank you.